Welcome to the Media Masterminds. Hashtag rehash. I am Pop. Joining me, my co-host, Mr. Benny Rose. How are you, Ben?
I am doing great. How are you?
Very good, very good. This is our first show with guests, and we have multiple guests. We got a big show. No, not really a big show. It's a lot of rehash, but it's a big discussion show for our first show with guests. So let me introduce first a former co-host of mine from a former podcast, Shenanigans podcast, uh, Mr. Coach, Mr.
Oh, it's
Mike.
good to be back.
How you doing today, Mike?
Good, doing good. Thank you guys for having me on as a guest. A little back into my podcast action here.
Absolutely, a lot of fun. And our other guest is Benny's business partner and creator of Soltis Art. I hope I said it correctly. From Take Care, Have Fun, Adam. How you doing, Adam?
Doing good. That'd be Asoltis Art Creations. Yes. Never been on a podcast before, but I'm already ready to go.
Very nice.
Good for you.
Yeah, the video wasn't looking too good at that point, but
I
Yeah, I
didn't
fit-
see myself.
Adam, when I look at you, it's like I'm watching the movie The Ring.
So many references that can go towards. And then he slurps his drink.
so this week we have a lot of rehash, a lot of formatting from previous shows. So we're going to touch on some things that we did previously. We're going to do some discussion with the panel, I guess we can call it here, of some of their opinions on some of the stuff that's going on with Marvel versus DC, the remaining summer movies that are coming out. Then in the video game section, we're going to talk about some of the Kickstarter stuff that we've already discussed, but some new games that were brought into the fold. The new amiibos that are coming out this coming week. Rock Band and Guitar Hero, a little bit of that discussion. And I didn't ask, so we're going to wing it, but Ben, did you pick out a thorn prick for this week?
I did something a little special since we had guests on the show. I have two. I have one on this side, and I have one on this side. So I'm
Okay.
not going to say which one it is. It is, but I'll let everybody kind of pick. Whoever picks the left or the right side will be the movie I choose, because they're both pricks in my heart.
Is
Okay.
one like on the dark side and one on the Jedi?
No, they're both awful.
Oh, I figured that.
They're on the shit side, not on either the dark or the light.
Revenge of the Shit.
You got it.
But not Jar Jar bad, I'm sorry. But Jar Jar
I
bad.
wouldn't do that. I don't want to waste. I don't want to waste airtime now.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure if you had one or not. I did not pick a pop spec because I think we might end up running long.
Well,
So-
I could do both movies if need be.
We'll see how it goes when we get there.
Yeah,
I feel like we've been neglecting the video games a bit since entertainment seems to run long every week.
that's cool. Yeah, we'll worry about it when we get to that point.
So let's go right in. I'm not going to show the clips from it because I don't want to really mess up the feed right now. But we saw some more from the Suicide Squad. We saw some chase scene with the Joker and Harley Quinn in the car being chased by the Batmobile. And then more recently, we've seen what appears to be a stunt double Batman on top of one of the roofs of the car, smashing it. So, Ben, we'll kick it off with you first. This is your movie, Suicide Squad.
Oh, God.
So what's the thoughts?
Well, I think that they're already proving you wrong in the sense that he's already in the movie more than 5 minutes because all they've been doing is filming him. So even if that's all a flashback scene, it seems to be a pretty lengthy flashback scene. And the fact that they got Affleck out there and the Batmobile, it seems it's going to be a little more involved. I think it's cool. I still hate the way Joker looks. I'm going to embrace it once the movie comes out. But, I think that we've seen too much. That's my issue. The movie's a year away, and we've seen like half the movie.
We've seen too much. It's just too much.
It's like enough is enough. Enough. It's like seriously.
All right, well, we end up being like broken records. So, Adam, what do you think about the what we've seen, and not just what we've just seen, but what we've seen overall for the Suicide Squad?
I'm not a big fan of the look, I'll be honest with you. I'm sure I share the same with Benny on that. I did hear a little bit of the voice recording or something, and I'll tell you, I kind of like the way he sounds. I ain't gonna lie about that, but I hadn't got a chance to take a look at any of the video. But I'm already kind of like not liking the way things have been going with the whole DC universe as it is, and the whole movies. I don't like Affleck. You shake your head, man. I don't like
No,
Affleck as Batman.
I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing with you. That's what my head shake is.
I'm shaking my head because it's just the whole franchise is a fiasco. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know why they can't even get it to where the quality of like their cartoon movies. I mean, their cartoon movies are damn good, but every movie I've seen live action has been total shit. Like I have not enjoyed. Okay, sorry, let me correct that. With the exception.
I literally think that the guys behind the DC scenes are like T-Rexes trying to get to the laptop.
Well,
they just can't do it.
Let's save the DC Marvel. We'll save that because I want to talk a little bit about their slate versus Marvel's slate. But
Okay.
let's leave it for Suicide Squad for now. But Mike, what are your views on the Suicide Squad?
Listen, going back to 1989 Batman, it seems everyone always has something to say about the actors playing the characters, the look of the characters, and in 2015, where it's almost the same thing. I and a lot of people never, beginning when Heath Ledger was announced, a lot of people were against that. People are, ripping apart what Joker looks like now. You're just going to have to give it a chance. I think people look at these characters and they just expect so much. Like, they want perfection in these Batman and Joker roles, and you just have to let it play out. You're only looking at little feeds and pictures.
Let me ask you this, because I know where Adam and Benny fall with this because of their about that comic strip this week. But what do you think of the tattoos for the Joker?
No, I don't like them. I'm not a fan of that.
I've yet to meet a person that has. All right, it's pretty good. Let's see where they go with it. I don't think anyone is like.
Well, Casey in the comic strip seems to really like them, so.
Well, he may be the one exception, but he said R.I.P. to the DC universe.
I think the biggest issue with it
Hashtag
all.
fact.
I think the biggest issue is that it pulls too much from the comics, though. I mean, like a lot of the tattoos he's got on there is pulled straight from the comics, and it just kind of it feels weird. It would have been better if it was something with just. I mean, if they wanted to tattoo him, it would have been better if they would have did something a little bit more original and not pull art from the comics itself with all the ha's and shit.
I think that they're trying too hard because they're like, all right, everybody wants homage. If they see a comic book font of ha ha ha, they'll be like, oh, it's okay, it's a tattoo, but it's Joker related, so it's okay. Not the fact that he's got damage on his forehead.
Yeah, that's the worst one. I think I could pass on the rest of them. The damage and the grill.
The J tier.
I don't totally mind that either.
J tier.
How would you guys feel if it was more like scarred or maybe carved into his head? Do you think that would probably be a little bit better? I mean,
it doesn't need to be words. If he's just got scars, it's fine. He's not the type of character that, at least I know, to be cynical enough to carve stuff into his name. He'd be carving it into other people's names.
No, I think he would. I think just like in Dark Knight with the scars. But Mike, you were going to say something. What were you going to say?
Is it possible that, this was done to him by someone else? As like a prank or as like punishment, and he didn't do it to himself, and he's,
That's a very optimistic belief on it.
I'm trying to think.
Clever girl.
I heard what you guys had said, that maybe I like the idea. Maybe every day he changes what's on his face and everything like that. But maybe it's some kind of punishment that he had, and he's now embracing it. But they have to have a new take on Joker. If you go back to Cesar Romero, to Jack Nicholson, to Heath Ledger, and even the animated series, they all have to be different. It has to be something new. It's a new movie. You have to, take a little bit of the old and mix it with something new to get people's attention. Look how different all those Jokers are.
I agree to an extent, just of how far they went in one direction with this one.
I think that it's not just this movie, too, not to cut anybody off, but it's like, think about, just to go off a little bit of a tangent, Batman v Superman, the little we've seen of Lex Luthor, the stuff that we've heard from that's kind of similar, where they're kind of making him this whole out, like, potential gang kind of member or something from what I've read, like just something that's like out of the ordinary for the character. It seems like they're trying to do that with a lot of the roles because they're trying to make their own type of universe, and they're hoping, I think, that once the movies come out, people will be like, oh my god, they're amazing. Be like, see, you assholes, wanted to judge, and it goes back to Mike's point of, people are going to start jumping on the bandwagon afterwards. But I do think that it's totally away from anything that we would ever expect. So
does anyone else dislike the car he's in? It just doesn't fit for me.
I feel
like I'm watching Fast and the Furious.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like I'm watching Fast and the Furious with the car he's in. I mean, I want to see. I guess I'm used to the Joker vans or like some jalopy that they're driving, but this doesn't look Joker-esque to me.
Well, I mean, it's weird because if you think about how vivid they've made his makeup and everything, and then you look at this car, yes, it's purple, but it's not sticking out in the same sense. Like it, and also the car style doesn't fit him either. Just kind of robbing something else would be more realistic than him having this Joker pimp mobile essentially. So
yeah.
it's kind of weird.
You know what it kind of reminds me of, and I know I don't know if anybody follows Marilyn Manson, but there was that one time where Marilyn Manson went from that kind of like that dark look to this whole goth rock superstar, and that's what it kind of reminds me, that he's kind of like this Joker's taking this new image that nobody's really enjoying, and that's kind of how I feel like when Marilyn Manson took that whole weird.
We're talking like 90s Manson.
Went from like the dark Manson, and then when he did Tainted Love, and he had like the grill on his teeth, and he was acting like I don't know, it was just like this weird like a
hybrid
hip hop look on him, and it didn't last very long, but it was just like dead in the water look, and that's kind of how I'm getting this feeling with this Joker.
I think with what Mike was saying with the car, I agree with that. With the car, I don't really get it. I think I talked about this on either the last show or I just talked about this privately with Benny. I think they're going to use a lot of colors, and there'll be like a oversaturation of different like bright, vivid colors. I don't think it was Benny actually. I don't think we just talked about it on the show.
We talked about it, but we talked about it the opposite, where like Batman v Superman has everything dried out, like nothing is as bright as is off camera.
Right.
So
this may be the opposite.
A lot of After Effects.
Or this may be just the flashback scene, maybe very oversaturated and very vividly colors to kind of give the illusion of the flashback.
Right, of the character too, being bright and
but then
his hair is just so hot, they're so green.
But then he won't fit in the universe if it's too much.
True.
Well, I pulled up here. This is the slate. I don't think we need to go really too far past. I can move it down a little bit just to show 2017. We don't need to go into 2018.
We'll all be dead by then, so it doesn't matter.
Can everybody see? Everybody can see it?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So this movie doesn't even come out until, as of right now, August 5th, 2016. So we're seeing an awful lot for this movie for it to come out pretty much last of anything that's shooting currently, because Deadpool's shooting currently with a February release date, Captain America shooting with a May release date, and X-Men is shooting with also a May release date. So it stands to believe there's going to be a ton of CGI in Suicide Squad. Are we all in agreement on that?
Yes.
Well, it could be that, or also they're probably planning the Batman versus Superman. It could be something that they're going to tie into that to lead on. I'm not going to stack all their movies in a row, but yeah, I would probably agree there's going to be a lot of CGI.
But if you think about it, we've seen probably triple the amount of content that we've seen for with Suicide Squad versus
Sound like Samuel L. Jackson in Kingsman, which I watched last night.
I still gotta watch that.
Oh, it was great. It was really great.
But the Batman v Superman, we've seen this one trailer. Paul and I have seen it 4 times. We've seen nothing else for that. Yet the movie comes out before Suicide Squad, and we've seen like half the movie.
Well, my point really was that Suicide Squad wouldn't have to shoot this early. It's not so much the placement of Batman versus Superman against Suicide Squad. It's that they're shooting it very early compared to these other movies when they could have started shooting in the fall, unless someone's schedule is getting really tied up. But it leads me to believe that there's going to be a lot of CG. That's what I would think, or a lot of green screen, a lot of After Effects.
Right. Well, also maybe Affleck might be starting. I don't know when they're starting to do Justice League. I don't know if any of that stuff is that slated this year at all. to start or no?
I doubt it. I doubt
Okay.
it.
Why is it seems like so much of this movie is leaking? Is this purposely being done, you think? And
It's
way
where
too much.
the where they're filming it. It's pretty much public, so everybody has access to a camera. If they were on a set or something, which Paul and I have discussed, you'd have a lot more secrecy to be able to, leak stuff like Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds leaks stuff on his own accord, and the director does too. But we haven't seen much of that either. So it really comes down to the fact that a lot of this stuff is guerrilla footage.
Well,
And
and it's
Captain America was like that too.
right.
The
It's
third
being
Batman movie was like that too. They had a lot of scenes leaked from the third Dark Knight movie.
they're not using a soundstage. So
Right.
if you're out on the residential streets, a lot of stuff's going to get captured and used.
That's it.
So what do we think of the slate? Well, I mean, we can talk a little bit about Ant-Man and Fantastic Four coming out this year, but then 2016 is a big year. We've got Deadpool, Batman vs Superman, Captain America Civil War, Avengers 2.5 as I call it, X-Men Apocalypse, Suicide Squad, Gambit, which I don't see that falling into that actual date. I'm sure that'll get moved. And Doctor Strange, which may or may not get moved also.
Right. It's
What's-
crazy. It's a
Thoughts?
really heavy year. Would you say it's one of the busiest years as far as comic book movies?
Yeah, I think, well, originally Batman vs. Superman was supposed to be this year. It was supposed to go against Avengers, and in Star Wars in December, it's like unbelievable. 2015 was supposed to be unbelievable. We've learned 2015 is the year of the delay.
Right.
So, 2016 is now end up being pretty stacked, especially with Captain America being there.
I just have a feeling one of these movies is going to get lost in the.
Well, what would it be for you?
I can't see being X-Men. I mean, for me, I don't see they're spaced out a little bit. I'd probably have very little interest in Gambit or Doctor Strange, but it seems one of these movies is going to probably get less credit than it deserves because it's just overload of these movies that are going for the same target audience.
Right. Well, I mean, they're spaced out pretty good with the exception of Captain America and X-Men. I think that's a mistake, probably having X-Men in May. I would probably go with June or even July for it because you don't have Suicide Squad until August, and I really don't see Suicide Squad doing much damage to X-Men. But the other ones all come out at other points of Gambit, if it comes out, which I doubt, in October. That's usually a slower time for movies, as is Doctor Strange. I think the Fox did a good job with that if that date ends up holding. Same thing with Deadpool because February is not really a big movie month.
That was right on Valentine's Day weekend.
Yeah, perfect little Valentine's Day movie for everybody to just go see.
Benny will be there.
Of course. Why not?
So we'll
What
go
else
into
would I do?
we'll go into 2017 just to give a little bit of this, and they have the Wolverine sequel tentative for March. Guardians of the Galaxy moved up till May, which was originally, I believe, July, and they moved it up. Fantastic Four 2, which I don't think will happen in June. Wonder Woman in June. Spider-Man co-produced film, which will be July, which will be a brand new reboot of Spider-Man. Thor in November. Justice League in November, which I don't think will happen either. And Bloodshot, I don't know what that is. I'm not doing very much research from that.
Bloodshot's are one of Valiant's first comics.
I'm sure that won't get made either. It says unscheduled, just so 2017.
Direct to video release.
Straight to video.
Yep, it'll be all claymation.
So what do we think? What do we think about 2017?
Are people going to give Fantastic Four another shot after the travesty of the other two movies?
Well, we got to see. We're getting the reboot this year, so that's going to be the real big judge of that because this movie has a completely different tone than what the other two movies had. So the trailers look a lot better. I know that doesn't say much. Paul and I were the first two to be really skeptical on that movie, but I think it has a chance of not sucking as bad as the other two. But is it a little soon to talk about a sequel when you don't even know how the movie's going to be? That's the real question.
I think it's one of those movies that would probably benefit from a little bit of a darker tone from the last movies. The other movies seemed a little too family friendly, and just I believe just kind of like Green Lantern just lost something with that.
Right. A little too late, kind of.
I don't think that they need to Dark Knightify all these movies, and Marvel has shown that their movies don't need to be overly dark. I mean, I think they went a little. I agree with you, Adam. I think they went a little too family friendly with the first Fantastic Four. Second one was a little bit better, but they really shit on the comic books with that one, and it just wasn't a good movie overall.
It was a little too campy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, like especially with Captain America being a Human Torch and all.
Well, Mike, as a Superman fan, do you think this Justice League movie is going to happen in 2017?
Yeah, I mean this is long awaited. I mean this is long overdue to have the Justice League movie. I mean this is it'll probably do great box office numbers. Will it be something unbelievable? I mean we're seeing new Batman Superman movies, so it might lose its luster having them together in a movie and them having them in a Justice League movie, but it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, if you look at the slate and you see Wonder Woman will be out before it, but the Flash movie is tentative for after it, and where the rest of the, Marvel built this Avengers movie off of all these individual movies first, and then put them as a team. Whereas if you build this Justice League movie with the same characters that you've already shown in the Batman versus Superman, I think it's going to lose some of its luster. Adam, what do you think of the slate here? What are you most looking forward to?
To me, it looks like they're kind of rushing to get it in there to do like a Me Too thing. I mean, There's a lot of movies all piled up where Marvel someone disagrees with me. But it seems like they're really piling it all on, and it doesn't seem like they have a lot of structure with what they're going. I mean, this Batman versus Superman turned out to be, it started off with being Batman and Superman. Now they're piling on all these characters, like as if they had some kind of half-assed plan to set up this whole Justice League movie. And I have a feeling that it's kind of just blow back in their face, man. I'm not feeling it. You too, buddy.
This is the fun of doing a show like this. I've tried to mute his microphone, but it keeps telling me now I have an upgrade to a plugin that I just installed before we did the show, so it's kind of crazy.
Awesome.
I'm going to stop the screen sharing.
This means that you ultimately should not be giving Adam the mic anymore.
That's not me.
Well, Hadouken.
Trying. It's not letting me do much of anything.
All right, let's just try to push forward.
So, did everyone look at the remaining summer movies that are coming out?
Yeah.
Oh, Mike's thing went on mute now. It decided after a long amount of time.
Now he has something to say.
To now go on mute. So I'm going to ask Adam first, then, since I have Mike on mute actually, which was successful. What do you think of? Well, now went on mute, but what do you? Oh, okay. What are you looking forward to that's left for this summer? We got June, we got July. I don't know of anything big that's coming out in August, but what are you looking forward to that's still coming out this summer?
You mean just along the lines of comics, or?
No, movies.
Yeah,
it could be a superhero movie. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the Star Wars movie. To be honest with you, and I think from the past, and I heard you guys aren't too happy about the whole Terminator thing, but I'm kind of psyched for that. To be honest with you, I'm really kind of psyched to see where they go with the storyline. For those who've seen the spoilers or anything like that, I don't want to ruin anything, but I think it's going to be kind of interesting. I don't think it's going to be as much of a disaster as, say, like the DC Universe movies, but
tie everything together.
I think it's cool that it looks like they're kind of going through the first two movies, kind of running through the alternate future type thing, and then kind of doing their own thing. So that's the one I'm really looking forward to. Insidious 3, I'm sure. I mean, I'm just kind of like a fan of horror movies to begin with, so
yeah.
I enjoy the first two, so I mean, but that's
you
that's
went
kind
to
of
see
like
Poltergeist too, so you know.
Oh, how was that? I heard that was Mike has interest in Poltergeist.
Dog shit taco.
It wasn't bad. It was okay, but it just it rushed too much to the beginning. Like there was just it took all the wonder out of the original movie and kind of just shoved it in your face like here it is, watch it, see it, and it's just I kind of I mean it had some good jump scares for your standard horror
How how,
person.
cl- how close was it tied to the original movie?
Uh, it made some references, but it
Loosely
almost felt
based.
yeah loosely it was all right. It was a decent movie. I would say wait for video though. It was kind of one of the more disappointing ones for me.
That's what I kind of figured.
Boo earns. PG-13. I mean,
Well,
yeah,
I think the original was rated PG-13 also.
right, but a PG-13 movie in the '80s is very different than a PG-13 movie nowadays. That's
That's
why.
very
That's why.
true.
That's why I say that.
That's true. Very true. It seems like a trend that movie studio execs forget that people like to see horror movies around Halloween because a lot of years there's never anything good around Halloween to see.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
had less competition during the summer, so they'll go see an established series or something like that.
Right. So, Mike, what are you looking forward to? I'm looking forward to Terminator also. Added to what Adam said. I'm a huge Terminator fan, so I'm looking forward to it still. I think they gave away way too much in the commercials. Hopefully, there's some twists and stuff, but I think they gave away way too much. I'm still looking forward to it. I'm a sucker for a Terminator movie. Or else it gets the hose again.
Ah.
Oh, we're coming off the rails. We're coming off the rails now.
This is normal though.
Maybe they'll dig up John Candy and throw him on the roller coaster.
Wow.
Weekend at Bernie's 3, you hear it first.
Are we gonna get a special cameo from Ernest too while we're at it? We're gonna bring back all the dead. Hey Vern.
So Benny, what do you have left for this summer? What are you most looking forward to? I mean, we discussed on the pilot show, right? We discussed that, so that show isn't even live anymore.
Right. I'm really looking forward to Bat Kid Begins.
I think that's a joke.
No, I really am.
Well, okay.
Do you know what that is?
It's something where a town let this kid dress up like Batman or something.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh.
And that has now trumped all the other movies. All these studios spent millions of dollars for you to come out to the movie theater, and you want to see some kid. I could dress up in a Batman suit and charge you $10 to watch.
I would never pay to watch you in a Batman suit.
You do it for free.
Well, it's funny because a movie I thought you would bring up, you didn't bring up, which would be Jurassic World.
Well, I haven't gone yet, so that's why
Well, you've been talking about Terminator, so I figured you were gonna chime it in there. You know.
I was segueing through guests. I'm doing the role here. I'm trying to guide the show.
All right. I would say we're all on the agreed terms of Terminator. You know me, I'm probably the biggest sucker for Arnold more than Terminator. I like Terminator, but I'm not going to turn away any of his movies. I still want to get my hands on Maggie when it comes out because I think I missed the limited theatrical release. I heard it was really good.
You can rent it. You can rent it online.
Okay, cool. Looks like Mike got doubled on this call.
Mike has been cloned. He's up multiple
Look,
times
he's
now.
blurry. He looks like reverse Mike. Anyway,
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World, I'm still a little concerned with. I think it'll be cool. I don't know if it's going to be first movie worthy or third movie worthy, because we know the second was dog shit. But Fantastic Four, I want to give it a shot. You know, I want to like it, but I don't think I'm gonna. And I still gotta see Tomorrowland, which I still haven't seen.
I haven't watched Tomorrowland yet either, but the reviews have not been very kind to it.
Really? I heard
Yeah.
it was not that bad.
They haven't been abysmal. They're not like Mad
go
Max.
see this.
They're not Mad Max worthy though, which is unbelievable to me that how good that movie is reviewing.
It's reviewing, but I mean, I'll tell you, I didn't think it was. I mean, it was good. It had great action, but I don't know. I kind of suffered in the storyline area, man. I was kind of, the action was there, but it reminded me of a very long version of the barrel scene from the Hobbit movie. It was just like really long. I mean, I understand it's all action and everything, but the storyline just felt kind of weird on it. I don't know.
A lot of people said that they liked it because of the practical effects. There wasn't much CGI to the movie. It was everything was done practical. I don't think that's
rare nowadays.
Yeah, I don't think that's what's selling the movie, but
I think the people are getting off on an older movie kind of coming back, and it did get paid. They spent a lot of money on marketing on that, so it ended up still getting beat out by Pitch Perfect. So,
oh yeah, I don't think it's done well. It hasn't done well enough financially yet to warrant a sequel or anything like that. But
no, but we warrant a next gen video game that's coming out in August.
I'm just very surprised. I checked as of yesterday or the day before, it was at 98 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wowzers.
It seemed to me like the commercials, at least for them, were a little bit more artistic than the actual movie itself. I don't know, just the way they presented it, the music, like all the trailers they'd shown, made it felt a lot more artistic than the movie actually was. And I was kind of looking for that same kind of artistic flair where it didn't have the same. I don't know, maybe it's just.
It was more of an archaic war movie,
Yeah.
It's like Waterworld in the desert.
So we just piss on it and then drink it, right, when we're done.
And I'm very disappointed that no one mentioned Ant-Man, and I'm going to hang up on all of you and continue the rest of the show with just myself, because that is the last great summer movie remaining is Ant-Man.
Well,
open and shut case, Ant-Man.
We'll see. Well, little case.
I don't know. I'm feeling weird about the movie.
Yeah, I'm not excited because the trailers haven't done anything for me. I'm not disliking it, but it's not something I'm like, I gotta go see it. I know, like, for now it's kind of like standalone until Civil War, because now that we've seen that he's been on the set. But you said it too. This movie is like Marvel's biggest gamble right now. Yes. I don't think it's gonna do bad, but I don't think it's gonna hit me. I would like it if I go see it and I love it. Awesome, because that's their job. Their job is to sell people on it that are not fans. And I'm not necessarily not a fan, but I'm not hyped like you are,
I don't think the character's just not in the forefront like all these other characters, like all these other movies they make. And I know that Iron Man really wasn't until the Iron Man movies were. Captain America's always been popular, Hulk popular, but it's just not in the forefront of what you see. You always see Captain America, Superman, Batman. Ant-Man's kind of like, okay, if it wasn't for this movie, is there any merchandise or toys? You really got to dig for it. It's not something that's so popular.
The Guardians of the Galaxy weren't popular at all either before they made the Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
I'll tell you what, I think what killed it for me in that trailer is that little scene with the whole train, the train falling over. It felt a lot more... It felt a lot better, and I think that whole goofy thing, granted it was funny, but I think that would have been a better joke to kind of leave undisplayed, because it doesn't feel as serious as the rest of the Marvel universe.
Well, I think that it would have been maybe even better to leave it for the movie, not the trailer.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Kind of leave it, because it's like the movie doesn't look tongue-in-cheek as much as they're saying it's going to be.
I think there's gonna be more of that, and they wanted to give a sample of how they're gonna do scale with the movie and how they're gonna have scenes where he's tiny and different perspective of scale. And I think that there's gonna be multiple scenes in the movie. I think they're probably holding back some of that. But my opinion on it is, I think that Marvel, obviously they've seen the movie now. The movie comes out in July, and if the movie was a train wreck, I don't think they would have him in Captain America. I don't think they would continue to use the character if they didn't think it was going the way they wanted it to.
Right. This might boost the character like he needs. I mean, I told you my biggest gripe from a comic fan's perspective is I would prefer Hank Pym be, but that's nitpicking.
I would also.
I would never choose Scott Lang. You lose that whole story that people like us know, and yeah, we might get that. You've talked about potentially they're gonna say that he was Ant-Man at a time, but
Right, with a flashback.
How much airtime are we gonna get of that? It's gonna be like a tease, And there has been spoilers on the internet that have kind of talked about that, which I won't go into. So, it's nice, but you put Michael Douglas in that role, you can't take that back. You can't give Hank Pym a movie,
Right.
And then without Hank Pym, then you don't have Wasp. Do we need Wasp? Not necessarily, but they kind of go hand in hand, and I feel like those are Avengers that some people know because a lot of the cartoons have done it. A lot of the more modern comics have touched on that. So I think it's an interesting route to throw, the secondary, essentially Yellow Jacket, into the role. But we'll see.
All right. So, does anybody? Obviously you're gonna watch it. Does anybody else have anything to add before we move on into the Thorn Prick? Summer movies? No more summer movies.
I think you guys talked enough about Jurassic Park to talk about it again. I mean, we know what to expect. Dinosaurs. You guys
see that Barbasol has limited edition shaving cream cans coming out?
No, I did not. They're about 20 years late to that gimmick, I think.
Well, I can't
Superman can do it with the shavers. Why not, right?
Oh, that's all corny. Freaking Iron Man razor blades we got now too.
But those aren't real.
It's still stupid.
I think it would have been better if they were real, that I could go out and buy one of them.
Then you fucking put it on your chest and then you stick it up your ass. Right?
Okay. I need an arc reactor in my asshole.
Say you know a reactor.
Spices up the love life.
Alrighty.
So let's move on into Benny's section. The Rose Thorn Prick.
So I have two movies, guys. The way we're gonna do this is you got this hand, you got this hand. You let me know which hand, and you help pick the fate of my prick for this week. So who wants this hand? It's not that fun.
Your hand is picking the fate of your prick, huh?
It's got 5 digits too. So we're gonna look at this one, or we're gonna go look at this one. Who's for left? Raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
I'm gonna go with the righty.
Guys?
I'll go left.
All right, Mike's the deal breaker.
I'll go southpaw. I'll go left.
Now, which one is considered your left? This one?
Your actual left hand. You're making this more difficult than it needs to be.
All right, fine. Prick.
Well, now we have dead air. We just.
I just want to see. I want to see what the other one is going to be, though. What was that?
You have to talk. We can't see it.
Well, why don't you move the camera, you prick?
It won't let me do anything. It keeps telling me I have to do a plug-in. I don't want to risk losing the broadcast.
All right, so I'll just show the guys so they can see it, and then I'll talk about it. These were the two pricks.
Oh man, which one do we get?
Trash. Both of them are trash.
I've only seen Sleepaway.
So the movie I decided to pick is something we've been waiting long and hard for Paul to get wind of.
Long and hard. That's what she said.
This is a movie. This is one of my first gory, I don't know if you want to call it horror movies that I watched as a kid. I snuck watched this movie. This movie is called Street Trash.
Never heard of it.
Nobody here except for Adam would have heard of it.
No, I still can't wait to see it.
Oh, we have too many games for that, so yeah. So pretty much, I'll give you the basic synopsis that they tell you in the box. Is anybody familiar with the movie Eraserhead?
Crickets.
Cool. Eraserhead is a very obscure, weird, like Jacob's Ladder before Jacob's Ladder, weird stuff. Silent Hill, trippy balls, kind of don't make sense movie. So picture that meets Night of the Living Dead on the set of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Does that make any sense? Nope. Cool. So the basis of this movie is there is this liquor that is found in a liquor store in a subcellar that's been there for decades called Viper. All dusty, most of the bottles are broken open.
Oh, dusty.
This guy decides to take some. Oh, fuck it! I'll go sell them up there for $1. Puts them on his counter. Gets all these crazy homeless guys coming in trying to buy liquor cheap. Sells it to them. Becomes like this thing that all the homeless guys are fighting over. But the thing is, when they drink it, it pretty much just starts destroying their insides, and they just start melting and decaying and turning into like pus and just liquid schmegma. Schmegma.
Delicious.
So the animation, the style of the movie is very on par of Trauma, which I touched on last week with Toxic Avenger. So if anybody's familiar with those style movies with those practical effects with the weird monsters, and that's the type of stuff. It kind of sucks that we have this video and Pop can't get it to fucking work. It's like it kind of show it and embrace people to.
No, everyone can see you. When you're talking, your screen populates the screen.
Oh, I don't know that. So why the hell were you saying before that nobody could see it?
Well, you weren't talking. You were just putting the thing towards the camera.
Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah, exactly.
Blah, 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 blah. Straight trash. Cool.
Yeah.
So,
Benny,
what?
Dad, Mike.
are you sure you just weren't watching reruns of the riots in Baltimore? Are you sure you're watching that movie?
I was going to say, this guy was doing Rudy Giuliani before Rudy Giuliani did Rudy Giuliani, cleaning up the streets with the homeless people.
This guy's got the plan. This is the influence right here. This is where people.
I watched a
got off on
movie called Street Trash where I got rid of all the homeless people in New York City, and I cleaned up Times Square.
it. The simple solution to the homeless is the Viper.
Oh, what is that?
This is the alcohol that the guy finds.
No, they put a little pamphlet inside the disc. I'm asking you what the actual thing is, not what you.
It's a sticker.
Oh, okay.
It's a 30 proof, 1924 Tenafly Viper sticker.
Vapa. Isn't that what they called the thing in RoboCop 2? What was the drug in RoboCop 2? Pain? What was the drug?
Venom.
Cock.
Venom.
Cock.
It was Venom.
So, yeah, obviously I'm not going to spend much time in this movie, but it is a terrible movie.
You own it on Blu-ray.
I sold my DVD to get my Blu-ray. The big story for this movie was it was a movie that my brother and my parents were watching when I was growing up, and I wasn't allowed to watch it. But the way our living room was situated, the bedroom was next to it and it didn't have a door. So I was able to sneak into the bedroom, lay on their bed under their blanket, and watch the movie. And this is the first movie I ever did that with, that I remember. And it took me years to remember what this movie was, and I kept trying to reference it to like people that like know movies. And I'd be like, oh, there's a scene with this guy's drinking this alcohol, and like the weirdest part about it is the homeless guy finds the Viper, goes into like an alley. The alley happens to have like a vacant toilet just outside in the open, with like the old school flushing like hanging on top, and the guy sitting on it, getting off, drinking on the stuff, and then he just starts freaking decaying and falling into the toilet bowl. So like
I think I've seen that clip in like a compilation of like the most gross effects of movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's known for being that, along par with Peter Jackson's Bad Taste.
Right.
Very similar effects. So that was my reference point, and it wasn't until Mrs. Rose and I went to Disney, of all places, and we were in downtown Disney back when they had the what was the movie store?
I don't remember the name of it, but I
Was it
remember
Virgin-
they had the memorabilia. and
Virgin
stuff like
Records?
that.
No, Virgin Records.
Oh, there was actually a movie store that had like props and paraphernalia also, but it was Virgin that had the movies actual to buy them.
Right. Virgin is where I found the DVD of this movie. Nobody else sold it. So it's important to me because the movie is so bad. To this day, I can't get through the entire movie. But I appreciate. There's like 3 or 4 scenes that, like, my father, once I found the movie and I told him, he's like, "Oh, it's that fucking movie with that guy," and the first thing he says is he's like, "Oh, when they cut the guy's dick off and they're throwing it around, the crazy song," and I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, that's the one." Because there's a scene in the movie where a guy gets his dick cut off and they're throwing it around.
Spoilers.
Spoiler. Who cares?
So you're recommending a movie to everyone that listens and watches that you cannot get through at all, and you don't watch the complete movie.
It's
just
fun.
so we're on the same page. Yes, that's what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's a prick. It's a prick.
It is, and you are a prick too.
You prick.
Thank you. I mean, I know that Adam was really hoping that I'd do this one, but maybe next time. Sleep away.
We can't.
But I'll save that for another time. So.
Is that a full collection of all of them, or no, just the one?
Just the one.
Benny, you sure you
about 2 and 3?
You sure you want to do that movie? I think most people have heard and watched that movie. I mean, that really doesn't fit your gimmick.
Well, I feel like I know a lot of people that haven't watched that movie either. Paul, have you seen that movie?
I have not. Mike, have you seen it? To be stating that?
Long time ago.
Oh, okay. I assume Adam has, since he has infatuation with it. It'd be very weird to recommend the movie. But then again, Benny's recommended a movie he can't make it through, so.
I wouldn't go infatuation, but it was a pretty decent horror movie. The series wasn't too bad either.
We could just have.
I wanted to whip out something that would kind of throw you off and give you the opportunity to rip
Just
me
whip
apart,
it out.
which you didn't do. So
Whip it out.
whip it out.
I mean, with this setup with Google Hangouts, you might be able to just watch a whole thing and give commentary while you watch it.
I don't know if I'd be able to get through it.
You want to gain the viewers, not lose them, right?
No, right. Well, I'm the reason we lose viewers every week anyway. So,
sure?
Now it's going to be about cutting dicks off and throwing them around.
Yes. Very appropriate.
Well, we could just find that video on YouTube and we can just have you play it, and then I could do Lloyd Kaufman like color commentary during. And his dick got cut right off, and look at him throwing it over there. Holy
that is a professional throw.
That's a big dick.
All right, we're gonna move on into video games now.
Put that dick in your mouth.
All credibility. Down, pass the key, passes the ball. Put that dick in my mouth.
All right,
let's go into video games and the Kickstarter trends. So we got a new game added to Kickstarter this week. I haven't checked the funding for it. It's about a third of the way, and it's got 28 days left to go. It's called Perception. I'm going to see if the screen sharing still works, if that would be sufficient. There we go. So this is Deep End Games. I believe they are a lot of people that worked for Irrational Games, if I am correct.
Developers of BioShock and Dead Space.
Right. Well, yeah. Well,
I'm saying it's a mix of people.
Okay. And the game is primarily, from what I've gathered, I haven't done totally. I mean, it says it right there: narrative horror involving a young blind woman. So the game will be a first-person horror game where you're seeing looks like a blue kind of tint, like a Daredevil-esque,
right?
Blind person's point of view, where I guess sounds and stuff will alter the reality, what you see and stuff like that.
Yeah, you'll essentially use vibrations in the game to translate it as your visuals. Because you're essentially playing a blind character, so you're going to be very limited. I would say, like, the graphics from what they've shown reminds me of the bad Daredevil movie.
Right.
So, it's cool. I mean, it's Steam only right now. If it's successful, to go with the trend of everybody else, they might stretch it to consoles or something else.
But it is not part of the funding right now. The stretch goals, it's not up there yet.
Right.
And then they have a long way to go because if their stretch goals, here we go, PlayStation 4 version,
okay.
$375,000 they have to get to, which
okay.
is a long way. It's a pretty long way off from right now where they're almost at 50.
Yeah, well, it did just start a couple days ago, so.
It did. And then we have some of the ones that we previously spoke on, Ukulele, which is the Banjo-Kazooie
That's your game?
S game, and then Benny's game,
Hmm.
Bloodstained,
This
Ritual of the
fucking
Night.
Guy can't read today.
And that's already made more than Ukulele. It's already at 2,800.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
went up really quick.
28. I'm just gone. Benny, you're gonna have to take over the rest of the show.
$2.8 million.
Yes, that's
A
what
little
it's at
over
right
that.
now.
What's really cool about that is they have had an enormous amount of stretch goals since launch, and they've just pulverized almost every one of them. Their main goal right now is to get to 3 million, which will give them a Wii U port of the game. So
Wow. For the 3 people that'll buy it on the Wii U, they have a Wii U stretch goal.
yeah, Adam is one of them.
Well, 2 more other than Adam.
Turtle prick soup over there.
Hey, I like turtle soup. That's good stuff.
You like turtle prick soup? Because there's a
Shredder.
little prick in there for you. But with this game,
Horse
you
skin
know,
and all.
guy takes it to another level, of course.
Always.
So if you could pull down, so we could just look at some of these stretch goals. If you look at the amount,
There we go. There's the
It's-
stretch. That's one of them.
and
There's
looks
gotta
like
be
there's something
another
under it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 3.25.
They just
Jeez.
added that on there because that wasn't on
Yeah,
there.
that
2
wasn't
days
there.
ago.
That wasn't there earlier either.
Well, they know that they're gonna hit 3, so they added another one, I guess.
Right.
Wow.
So I mean, it's pretty cool what they've been very heavily involved with the community, and even the community has taken it to a different level, which is really cool. Adam and I ended up kind of coming across a Facebook page we thought they were running, and it ended up being one of their top backers. Basically, created a community and got like, Adam, how many likes would you say that page has?
Oh gosh, I can look it up, but I don't.
Yeah, it's a lot though. You know, so it was something we thought we were literally getting. You know,
Well, has this date changed? It says March 2017. It was always March 2017?
it's always been that for now. Yeah.
I got 36,700 likes.
Thought it was July for some reason.
No, it's always been March 17.
So you look at these games. Ukulele says October 2016. This game Perception says June of 2016, which will be sooner than the rest of these titles, which means they're probably deeply enough into production that this money isn't totally based off of for that, you know. And then Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is March of 2017. So these games are still pretty far off.
Right. Well, also keep in mind, with Bloodstained, Iga admitted right at the beginning of the video that the crowdfunding is not meant because they needed financial gain for the game. It was more to prove to their financial backer that was going to support them that the demand is there. So, I mean, at the end of the day, they don't need the money, but obviously the money helps. So that's where my wishful thinking of, if they're going to have all this money, plus they have this investor, you know, putting money into it, which I would assume is a developer
Right.
or even a publisher. At the end of the day, I think the game can come out sooner, but the fact that they probably haven't started anything other than concept art, I think that's where we're at. But I think that once they get started, I think that we won't have to wait as long. That's just wishful thinking, but
All right.
you know.
Well, I'm gonna shoot this over to the guests since we hear our opinion on the Kickstarter pretty frequently. We'll start with Mike on this. What do you think of this new trend now with Kickstarter being used to fund games, and essentially you're paying for the development of a title?
I mean, I just find it weird when I look at these games. The first thing I think of, I'm like, okay, it's a game by a developer who created a very successful game, and now, like the Ukulele and the Bloodstain, they're not going to be able to have any of the characters from the old game. Like, is that game and the engine going to be enough without the Banjo-Kazooie characters and without all that stuff in it to, for people? I mean, obviously people are funding it and they want it, but for me, it's almost like a Super Mario 2, where they took that original Japanese game and they moved all the Mario characters in it.
Right.
But the Perseverance game, when I watched the videos and things, it reminded me of
Perception.
I'm sorry. Perception. It reminded me of detective mode in the Arkham games,
Yeah.
or the Daredevil movies, obviously the Affleck Daredevil movies. But it's a little weird that these, they're.
But do you think it's a good or a bad thing?
I mean, I think it's a good thing because it's going to get people what they want. If people are willing to fund it and they believe in it, then and I like it. Like say, look, if you want this, this is how much we have to raise. So
Right.
and their goals, and everything seems transparent with their goals and everything. So hey, it's if they can do it. But
Are you looking forward to any of these titles? Any of these
I
three?
don't
I mean,
think
there's tons of stuff on there, but
I
these are the
don't.
three.
I would I keep forgetting the game. The
Perception?
Perception game. It's intriguing me because I like horror and but the other games, no, really no interest. I mean, I was a Castlevania fan, and it's not going to hold up for me if it doesn't have
But
the.
the thing is that if they release these games on the PC, which they all seem to be, you can always mod the game and change the character to look like whatever you want. You can make it look like Mega Man. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but I'm not a PC. I'm a console player, so to me, it's not. I'm not their target.
Right.
For
All
those
right.
games.
Let me shoot it over. Same question to Adam, with the Kickstarter trend that's going on. You think it's good, bad? What's your opinion on the Kickstarter stuff? How these independent companies basically are funding their games through Kickstarter?
I think it's good. To be honest with you, I think it all started with that Mighty Number Nine, which it seemed like like it didn't really have a big start like the way, well, it had a big start, sorry. It didn't have a lot to show when it first started, just like Bloodstained here. And it seemed like it was so far out, but it's right there. It's almost done too. I think what the thing is that a lot of these companies, they're basing these characters off of companies that are kind of abusing the loved characters that we once had, like Mega Man. Mega Man, they so many fans out there wanted certain games to happen. You had the Mega Man universe, you had the
Legends.
the
Legends
Legends
3.
3, and Capcom just kind of shit on everybody. So it's good to see that. I can't say the same thing with Castlevania, but it's good to see that that people are actually loving the gameplay for some of these games, and they're obviously wanting to play it. And I think showing like these Kickstarters is kind of like a pre-order, like we did with the T-shirts that we had. It's showing that people want to have these things and they want to play them. It doesn't matter the characters. I'd love to see another good Banjo-Kazooie. If it's not with the same characters, fine, so be it. But they did the third one on the Xbox, which is total shit,
Right.
And they abuse these characters, and the companies, these big name companies, they have control of these characters, and they don't want to sit back to the traditionals. They just want to do their own thing.
Right, but see, I see what everybody's saying with it. I think I think to an extent it leans towards the positive side of everything. I think the negative to it is that the bigger studios will decide not to take a gamble on more projects because they'll just say, well, if you really want to make that game, just go to Kickstarter and get them to fund the game because I'm not gonna bother putting all my money on that title when I don't know how much of a gamble it is to develop a new Silent Hill, for example, or something along that aspect.
Because it's around about time where we'll probably be seeing some type of spiritual successor to that as well. That could be something that gets announced at E3 too. Who knows if your boy Kojima has something up his sleeve that he's gonna kickstart.
I don't think he'll be able to do that until he's out of Konami, though.
I don't think. I think he could do whatever the hell he wants. I don't think he's contractually obligated to be stuck with them because he wouldn't have been trying to work with Del Toro and stuff like that. I know that it was for that project, but it was Kojima Productions that was.
I don't think they'll jeopardize Metal Gear by allowing him to launch another title or even mention another title before Metal Gear comes out.
We shall see.
We shall. So next bit of news is the Amiibo launch on the 29th of May, and Adam and Benny are very schooled with the Amiibo, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to let Adam take the lead on the Amiibo discussion since he customizes them and collects. I'm going to try and change the screen over so everyone can take a look at the launch window. There we go. So here are some of the ones that come out on the 29th. Pac-Man, Charizard, Wario, Ness,
Wario.
Jason
Jigglypuff,
Jason Todd.
Green Ninja.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I tell you, I would be on the New York line right now if I had a chance. I don't know what I don't know what it entails to be there overnight, so I didn't want to risk getting my ass mugged. But yeah, I'm one of those guys who would easily camp out 24 hours to get a hold of a couple of these, especially my buddy Pac-Man there. But I have immobile.
Is somebody fapping over there?
Yeah, Pac-Man.
Wow. Alrighty.
You guys got to go that line a little bit higher.
Continue.
I don't know. I mean, I what else is there to be said?
Well,
about
Talk about what Friday's going to entail.
Let me ask you. Do you think the trend is going to continue? This is first wave in a while, right? A few months since the last wave.
Well, the last one came out in what, February?
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, the last one
like-
came out in February.
The Mario Party bundle came out in March. The Mario Party characters, and then before that it says January/February.
Yeah, and as far as the March, the only thing that people really cared about was the Toad and Gold Mario, so the whole series wasn't as really crazy as all these other guys.
So
I
do we
think
really?
Go ahead.
Do we really know how the inventory is going to be with this next wave?
Oh, we do.
Yeah. Robin and Lucina is probably going to be the hardest ones to get. Oh, but strangely enough, Silver Mario seems to be.
Because he's not an exclusive, so you have more places to get him, even if they're limited per store. What we're looking at now, we're looking at seeing most stores getting the most 2 or 3 Robins and Lucinas per store. It's like absurd. It's absurd.
Well, they're controlling the
Of course.
supply and demand issues.
Because it's not happening overseas. Overseas you can get just about everything and anything. You pay a little extra, but you can walk into stores in most places overseas and just get any figure you want.
Right. Mike, are you schooled on these guys? Do you know what the goings-ons of Amiibos?
No, I mean I can tell already with the collectors and how it goes with exclusives and things like that. But I would say just go on a Mario. I would just say, geez, make a friend overseas. Go on some kind of chat and make believe you like somebody, and maybe they'll start sending you things. They can walk into a store and get them.
Adam does a lot of chat roulette with these guys to get what he wants.
He has to show a lot of penis to get a Wario.
Jiggle some of what you got for a Jigglypuff. I don't know what to tell you.
You got plenty of milkshake and jiggles for that.
Jiggle that Jigglypuff.
So what we'll do is we'll follow up depending on who's on next week's podcast, but we'll discuss with Benny and we'll see what the results were of what everything was gathered for the pickups and see how bad of a train wreck it truly was.
Display a couple bruises from the inline fights, right? Nah, that doesn't.
Not Adam. When Adam's in his hometown, everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's the guy that does the zombie amiibos." Everybody gets off on him, so he gets whatever he wants.
So one last bit of news that I had for last week, and we didn't end up touching on it just because of the amount of time, and we're getting there now. This week is the new Rock Band game versus the new Guitar Hero game, and some of the track listings have come up. A lot of people are already saying the Rock Band track list is superior to the Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero's veering off and having some stuff that you wouldn't really find in a rock game. I feel like they did that with the last game. I'm just maybe forgetting, and people don't really totally realize. But what are our thoughts? We'll just shoot it to Benny first with the new games coming back out. Rock Band.
Personally, I don't give a shit. I think that it's a dead technology. I think that as a musician, the developers think they know what people want to listen to. The world has decided that for us, with the radio and everything like that. And I hate to say it, most of these track listings are kind of justified. It's what people are paying for. I don't agree with it. Uh,
Well, you can play your old DLC for the Rock Band
Rock Band,
game.
right? I think that it's a completely different time to put something out like this when there's not really anything else around like it anymore. So you have I think there's going to be a whole other generation of people that are going to play it, and I think that the people that are buying it are going to listen to the songs that they're putting out on it. So I think that the game's going to sell. For somebody like me, I have a hard time saying I'm going to pick this game up again. When I could be Randy Marsh from South Park and be like, well, I could play that song on guitar. I'll play it for real. So I'm probably just being bitter because I would love to see my band song in one of the in the game.
Which you could do in Rock Band, right? You could update
We tried submitting numerous years and we didn't really get anywhere with it. But it's fine. I still wouldn't buy the game for something like that, but it'd be cool to be part of history with, hey, your song could be played by other people.
Right.
But yeah, some of these I think it would be really cool, but it ties back into, a lot of these songs for like Guitar Hero don't necessarily fit the rock genre, but what is the rock genre anymore?
Right.
The rock genre. I can go off on a tangent with this, which I won't, So I have a feeling you're going to probably at least pick up Rock Band, so I will probably come by you and play it.
The Rock Band title will allow you to use the same instruments that you had previously if you still own them. Guitar Hero will not. You have to buy a new instrument for them. You have to buy new DLC, I assume, also with that. So I'm leaning heavily towards the Rock Band. But Adam, what about you? Are you a fan of the Rock Band and Guitar Hero genre?
Yeah, I used to be a big fan of the Guitar Hero genre. Guitar Hero up until about 3. After 3, it kind of died out for me. I think after they released what is a Band Hero, where they kind of started throwing the pop songs and stuff.
That was
After
the kiddie version. That was.
Yeah, what was the one where they put like the whole album of like Rush? That just killed me. Like there was like a whole mid scene where they had the entire album, like Rush's new album.
Yeah.
And tried to play through the whole damn thing. It was kind of weak for me. I am more of a Rock Band person, and to me it seems like they're kind of doing the Tony Hawk Pro Skater thing. Like they went away for a little while, but coming back now.
All conveniently the same time.
Yeah, it's crazy. And Activision, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, go figure.
Yeah, but I mean, I like Rock Band. I thought the introduction of the drums and everything else was really good, and they did it really well. And then Guitar Hero went a little bit more arcadey, but the song choice for the new Guitar Hero, I think it's kind of weak. You're right. It doesn't feel like a very rock type selection, but then again, it's guitar and not rock. So.
Right.
It's one of those things. Like it's gonna be more of like an entertainment game, Versus...
Are you gonna be picking one up, Adam?
If I did, well, now that you said the old things for rock band, yeah, I'd rather do it. I don't want to have to buy damn guitars again.
Right.
It seems like I already have 3 drum sets in my freaking storage that I don't even need for like all the other.
Make one big ass drum set, and then still not be able to play the songs right.
Destiny Devil style.
Let's shoot it over to Mike. So, Mike, what about you as far as Rock Band, Guitar Hero? I know you were a fan of both. More of a fan of Rock Band because of the Beatles, the greatest band of all time.
Okay.
Right. Well, I mean, I have Beatles Rock Band, so I'd never need to play any other Rock Band game again. No, just. But I liked both, but I liked Rock Band, say, with the drums and with the microphone. It's a fun game to play, with a group of friends. Could there be more music in there I'd like? Yes, but you know what to expect. They got to sell the game, so they're going to put a lot of pop. They're going to put pop, all this teeny bopper music in it, and I expect that. But I was pretty satisfied with a lot of the catalog that you were able to play in Rock Band. I remember the Police, Nirvana, Pearl Jam. So if you don't want to play with the crappy songs, just don't play with the crappy songs. Play the songs you want to play.
That's something I enjoyed about the Rock Band previous years when you did like the career mode or any of that sort of stuff. You kind of could still, you didn't have to force yourself through a lot of songs. Maybe here or there one-offs, but a lot of times they had like the custom playlist option that you could do, and you got to pick your own songs or random songs from certain genres or decades, so you weren't really totally forced. Whereas the Guitar Hero, from what I remember, the career modes were like play these 5 songs, then you get the encore, then you get the next set of songs, same, and you have to play through them all.
Got it.
All right, well, I think that's a solid enough point.
What about the season pass for all the WWE entrances for Rock Band? would you buy it then?
If I could come out like Hulk Hogan, I might have to buy it. Like Voodoo Child and like.
I had to ask. I just think about doing Seth Rollins' song on it. And just
you mean actually playing the songs? I thought you meant like coming out with the camera and like.
No, I meant playing
like, the Hogan like.
Well, you could do both. You could do both. No, you come out, but then you're playing the actual theme songs.
Oh, Mike would be great. He could sing Dusty Rhodes and he'd be ready. You know.
And that, the best wrestlers always sang their own theme songs. You know that.
This is true.
You know you made it when you sang your own theme song.
He's just a honky tonk man.
Honky tonk.
So let's just quickly go. I didn't have it on the show notes, but I figured we'll mention it so we could keep with the somewhat of the format of the show and see how it sticks. Is what we've been playing this week. So maybe if anyone's been playing anything, we'll start with Benny because I'm sure he has been, and then we'll run through everybody else for what we've been playing this week as far as video games.
I finished Schrodinger's Cat, The Raiders of the Lost Quark.
Meow.
Pretty cool PS4 indie title. Puzzle-based platformer. I know you love old school platformers. We've talked about that on previous shows.
Oh, yes.
You have the character. You're not able to really go many places without having these little add-ons you find called quarks that give you the ability to like create a helicopter, create anvils to break through the floor, stuff like that. And you gotta use them limited. They don't respawn, stuff like that. And that's how you progress through the levels. Pretty cool. And
your review is available for that on Gaming Age, correct?
Correct. And then also my next review that'll be up probably this week was Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, the digital title prequel to the New Order, released from last year. Another awesome title that I actually really enjoyed the original full release. So it was pretty much about a 6-hour campaign. A lot of the same cool weapons, a lot of action, a lot of really cool dream sequences that kind of take you back to the original like PC game, but like the graphics are kind of mixed up with the old and the new.
Very cool.
And then lastly, I'm playing State of Decay, and I'm what's the term? I'm evil withinning it.
Evil withinning it, patent pending.
Yeah, I have to do a review for it, so I'm forcing myself to play it, and I am not happy. It is not a good game, and I might also end up having to pick up Splatoon before I go away because it looks like the team on my end for that game doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to do the review, so I might champ it up and pick it up. I don't know if I'll have time though.
That looks like a damn good game, man.
Oh, God. Adam, welcome to your first and last time on the show.
Get him out of here. You are fucking fired.
Come on, it
Put
looks
him in a bathroom.
as hell.
Mike, have you been playing anything this week? Past week?
Yeah, I was like last week. I was itching to play Donkey Kong Country, and I dusted off the Wii, the regular Wii,
The Virtual Console.
the Virtual Console, and I downloaded number 2 and number 3 because they were off there for a while. And when I get frustrated, dying in number 2, I just put on number 3. And then when I get sick of the stupid bears and all that, I go back to number 2. But those games are I just didn't want to sit down and have to concentrate on a game and a story. I just wanted to just pick up and play a game. Those games just stand the test of time.
Right.
I mean, you could pick up and play those games anytime, and they're still good. The music's great. They look great. I mean, there's enough been said about those games. But when you just want to pick up and play, you don't want to follow a story, you just want to run with it.
Classic side-scroller platformer.
At its best.
And
Yeah,
they still look good.
You know what you might want to check out is Rayman for the PS4, Rayman Legends, or just Rayman Origins.
Yeah.
I don't know if they made Origins for PS4, but Rayman Legends is great. It's just like it, side-scrolling, old school. with really good graphics.
And a lot of different characters too, so there's a lot of replayability with that.
Right.
And the game's really cheap now too,
Yeah.
like maybe $20.
What about you, Adam? Have you been playing anything this past week?
I'm just actually getting through Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, now that I've graduated, I finally got a chance to sit down with a couple of the games there.
15 minutes!
Yeah. Yeah, I know, it took me a little bit longer than you, I'm sure, man. But just, slow and steady wins the race, right? Nah, I'm a horrible person when it comes to like trying to find every little nook and cranny in the damn games. I got to be looking in the corners and pointing at everything. Yeah. But actually, no. The other game I've been playing a lot, I got a hold of Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PC, and I'm just loving the shit out of those mods that they're releasing. They got like a Just Cause 2 grappling hook now inside the game, so it just adds like a lot of craziness.
Yeah, a lot of mods. I see it seems like every day there's a new mod for the PC version.
Oh, it's beautiful. I'm a sick sadistic fuck in that game as it is, but.
Yep.
Like everybody else in that game.
I have like 30 officers like hanging from the freaking helicopters who are just all swinging around until the game crashes on me.
Playing it on ultra settings.
Yeah, no, that's what I've been playing.
So this past week, I really haven't played much, but I actually picked up the Halo Master Chief Collection to dust off my Xbox One.
Sorry to hear that.
No, it was. I don't play the multiplayer really. I'm not an online guy. If I want to just get destroyed online, I could just not play at all.
Or just play Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, it was $25 with Newegg had like a deal for 50% off or something. So I picked it up and I started playing the first one in the anniversary mode, and it's pretty impressive how you can just switch on the fly to the original Xbox graphics back to the remastered anniversary one, and it's just crazy how far we've come with it. I mean, it's pretty incredible. I think they did a pretty good job with the campaign side. I haven't played any of the multiplayer, but the campaign side, I think it's pretty cool how you could play all four games on it.
Yep, and then if you would have had it last year, they're giving the ODST campaign.
I didn't like ODST at all, so I didn't really. I played through a couple missions and I didn't care for it at all. So I'm okay with not getting it for free. I would probably never even play it.
There you go. Cool.
So I think that's about it for this week. I think it was a pretty good show. It was pretty fun having everybody on. It's something we could expand on and grow on. I'd really like to thank Mike, former co-host of mine, maybe a future guest on this show again. See if
he behaves himself. Maybe the dog is good.
You have anything to plug? The Dusty, no, right? No, nothing to plug.
Plug?
Yes, butt plug.
Butt sex.
If we ever get the spoken of wrestling podcast off the ground, this was going to be my co-host, but we'll see if we could ever get that off the ground.
Well, yeah, I mean, we just have to compete with Taz, Chris Jericho, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, they're gonna want to hear what we have to say.
Of course.
Rather than them, and then good luck getting getting some guests on. I mean, I'm sure we can get some really over the hill guys to sit down and.
We could get the guys at Fun Station to sit down and talk with us.
You should get Virgil.
Just meet him in the subway and then talk with him.
That's it.
And Adam, thank you again for coming on. You have some things to plug. I'll give you some time to plug what you need to plug.
I'll be right back right now. Comic book. Yaaboutthat.com. I don't really have much else. I mean, I don't know. Thank you for having me, even though you've banned me now for liking Splatoon. So
Splatoon and not liking Ant-Man. So Mike's in that pool also. So everyone will have to watch Ant-Man before they.
By the way, somebody that Paul and I know from a GameStop store gave me a funny name for Splatoon. The guy doesn't usually have anything funny to say, but I think he said something like Splatenta, or like something just awful with
like
Splatenta. Yeah, like he said it, and I was just dying. I'm like, why have we not thought of that? And that's pretty much what the game is. Sorry, Adam. It is just. I saw like a video for the first. I actually watched the video. I said, I need to know what this game is about. Is this like literally Team Fortress for kids? No, it's seeing who can make more colors on one side of the level.
Yeah, but
Fuck
you
you,
use that as
fuck you,
strategic
fuck you, fuck you.
All right.
later tonight, buddy.
Easy. Before you
Yeah,
have an accident.
right on the Nintendo line tonight at midnight.
So
There,
thank you, Adam. Solstice Art, a Solstice Art, right?
Oh, you said no.
Oh,
Solstice Art. Benny is interrupting me trying to speak. I have a dinging every time I talk because it says his app is using features from a newer version of Google Talk.
Ting,
Every single time.
ting.
Ding.
Thank you, Mike. I will thank Mike. It's good to hear from you. Good to see you. Glad you're doing well.
What's the fucking lotion in the basket?
I'm glad the Mickey heads with the popcorn are behind you over the ear.
Nice.
What Mickey had?
you zip that puppy up. No.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
Any last words, Mr. Rose?
Yoke.
As usual, thanks everybody for taking a listen. We probably gonna stick with this format, I guess. I'm gonna
I
assume.
think so.
That'd be cool.
I mean, as our guest, what do you guys think of this? Do you think this is cool? Would you like to see more of this?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I mean, I'm gonna have to kill my dog, but other than that, yeah, we should be good.
Yeah, and at the end of this video, we'll make sure we put no dogs were harmed in the filming of this video.
Maybe. ...
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So long.